Well, I usually get my ideas. I have like a sort of like a seed of an idea of say the main sort of line or chorus that sounds like something. It has power, and so maybe this one chorus, the lyrics will have power, and I can feel the power in that sort of phrase. And then it's just like throwing that into a lake and just letting it all spread out, and the idea just spreads from there. And I've heard of other singer-songwriters doing that, and it's people I really admire. And it was just by coincidence that I didn't intentionally do that. It just was the way that worked for me and worked best, was to get an idea, like say the chorus or idea, or the main line of the song, and then build all the verses and everything and the music around all of that. Just because I think that if the song starts and it comes to say the chorus or the important part of the song, it has to really hit people. So I try and start with the bit that hits people first, and then build everything back from there. But then when you play it, you start playing it, and the song starts to evolve, and then it gets to the part of the song where that idea you had initially. So the song's going along, and then an idea comes in, it's a bang, it's really powerful. So you sort of build up to that idea, and then you come down again, and so that's the way I'd sort of do it mainly, usually. I build songs like that, really. And it seems to work for me over the years. And it's a way I feel comfortable writing. Yeah, a lot of the time I'll have words. Other times, because I'm a guitar player as well, I'll be just have the guitar in my hands at home or something. So I'll just be playing. Oh, that's cool, and then I'll just build things from there. And then I'll try to then come up with that important punch part of the song. But I'll already have a bit of it written. But it's always based a lot around having that important core kind of line or sentence or something, and then building it from there. I haven't really thought about it. I haven't really given it any thought. I just try and if people come to the show, I just like to really touch them, or just be able to connect with them, and they go away and they feel like they've had a great experience. They feel like they've been touched or something, and they feel like they can really relate to something that's happening, and then they leave. And that's what I'm always trying to do. If I can do that, and then at the end of the show they leave and they feel that. And so if that means I've done that through songwriting or some great guitar or entertaining, or also stories in between songs, whatever, just everything, the whole thing is a show, I guess. And if they leave and they feel they've got, if they can come and they can laugh and they can cry and they can go through all the emotions and feel connected in some way, then that's a really, for me, that's what I'm trying to do. Just so people really enjoy, have a great night at my show. And I'm always trying to improve. I'm always practicing, and I'm practicing different styles of guitar at the moment. I'm always trying to evolve, and and I'm always trying to write new things, and so I'm always trying to improve as well. So just so I can be a better artist, even as I get older, and even though I've been touring and playing for a long time, I'm always trying to improve. I think recently, I think when I was younger it was like love and life, and the last couple of albums, 2 or 3 albums, I've been really into sort of, because I travel a lot and I'm on my own, by myself a lot in between gigs. I go interested in history because I go to a lot of countries, and I look at different buildings and try and find out what happened in the past in the places I play, and it's really great to sort of think about humanity and our journey up until this point of where we're at now. So I think the last 2 or 3 albums have been a lot of sort of philosophy, I think, of that, like how I think by understanding the journey of the human species to now, you understand your place in the world. But I wasn't looking to understand my place in the world. I think you start to see your place in the world after you sort of look at these things, and it's just really interesting to see what's motivated humanity and how what we've and also what's important and what people have thought is powerful through the years, and I just find that really interesting. And even now, I think that you can sort of see what I sort of see in the world around me now, after looking at all these things through history, that you turn on the news and a lot of it, you just see it's the same things that have happened for thousands of years. You know, the technology is different. They didn't have smartphones and everything years ago, but it just seems that humans are still motivated by the same thing. So I think the last sort of 2 or 3 albums I've been motivated by that, but not because I've been trying to. I was just really interested, and it was just because I was having an experience that was different to other people, because I was going to so many places and I was getting involved with so much culture and so many different things, and talking to so many people and learning a lot. So I just got really interested in it all, and it all just started to come out in my music, and it was just something that was fun for me. It wasn't like I was trying to be clever or try to be anything. It was just fun. It was just interesting, and it was like, how do I put all this into music? And I had this one album where there were some songs I thought, right, if I can get this right, and you think if humans being motivated by the same things throughout history, then I should be able to write a song that, if I got the lyrics right, you could listen to it 100 or 200 years before now, or 100 or 200 years from now, and it still makes sense to anyone, and the songs wouldn't change. And I did that album in about 4 or 5 years ago, and now you put the songs on, and they don't feel like they've changed or dated or anything. I think like if you put in songs like references to, say, I don't know, current events now, like say if you did put in a song of things about, say, Putin or Angela Merkel or whatever, 15, 20 years from now, they'll sound really old because of things, you know, maybe it'll still be interesting to people. But I think if you can just do like basic kind of philosophical things about human nature and what motivates us as a species, then the songs won't change, because us as a species haven't really changed. So I was sort of having fun, it's just my own entertainment really, and amusement, just doing songs like that, and I was just really enjoying it. And then I started to play them live, and people really enjoyed the songs, because I think they felt they connected with people, but they didn't know why or something, because it was just about trying to explain what we've been doing as humans or something. So that's what I've been doing lately, but the next sort of step, I'm not really sure what I want to do next, but I think I'm not quite sure yet. I need to start writing again shortly, but I'm not quite sure. I've been learning to play like lap slide guitar. I've been really fascinated with that, and so I'm just learning to play this instrument. And I'm just loving it, and that's taking up more time in, you know, hotels and things, and time on the road. So once I can play this instrument, then I'll work out what to do next with that. But it's a very sort of lonely, haunting instrument, so I'll probably try and write some songs to suit that. So I'm not sure what yet, but I'm sure it'll evolve. Oh, I don't know. I'm not. If people feel like that, then that's amazing, great. But I'm not. I'm just trying to do the best that I can to operate at the best level I can as an artist, and that's all I can do really. I can't do any more than that, and it's not. I'm not trying to do anything other than just be the best I can be, and hopefully people like it. Well, I really love so many. I grew up, when I first started playing guitar, I really got into B.B. King, Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix.
It's a blues.
Yeah, so I got into a bluesy kind of start with guitar. And then I really got into, my early 20s, I really got into guys like Loudon Wainwright, Tom Waits, Bob Dylan, really got into songwriters. Richard Thompson, really loved all that sort of stuff. And then a lot of guys in Australia who just play in the clubs who were fantastic, you know, musicians and players. And then I was living in Britain for a while, so I was playing on the folk and blues scene a bit. I'd go to folk festivals, and so it's just, all this stuff started to just seep into me really. And it wasn't really intentional, just all sort of, I go, oh, I really like that. And so I just listened to something like, I'd be in my van, I just listened to Loudon Wainwright for months. You know, just going and get all these albums and just drive around and just listen to all these albums. And then, oh, I really like that. And just, you know, just whatever I was drawn to, just ate it all up, and just came out as a mix of whatever I'm doing now, really. But there's also like an Australian flavour too in the music, like try and use a lot of space and try and get. I think growing up in Australia, you try and get the sound of the land or something. It's like sometimes an emptiness and space or something. So that sort of comes in my playing a bit as well, only because that's where I grew up, and it kind of, you know, that's something that feels very natural to me. Yeah, sometimes absolutely. I think if I think sometimes simplicity really works. Absolutely, and sometimes complicated stuff works. We were talking about this with my tour manager about how sometimes music, the simplest music works. Sometimes the simplest food works. You know, pasta and tomato sauce or something. You know, it's just sometimes that's so great, but it's so simple. And sometimes the simple music, like simple blues stuff, works amazing and connects so much more than stuff that's really complicated and someone's studied for years at conservatory to learn. But sometimes complicated music is very beautiful too. There's no rule really. It's just whatever works. I think some things work, some things don't. And sometimes they're simple, sometimes they're complicated. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Yeah, but it's also I think it's very hard to write. It's sometimes to write a really simple song that connects is really difficult. That's more difficult than trying to impress people with how clever you are. That's kind of easy. It's easier to write something clever than to write something simple that just really hits people. We've talked about Dylan like that song most of the time, which is just very simple but just so connects on so many levels. And I think some of the best stuff I've done that connected, where it's been more simple, but they're very hard to write. It's very hard to get those right. You've got to be really, times I've done it, you've got to be really connected to yourself and really quiet, and you've really just got to know where you're at, and it's sort of, they can come out and you can get them out, but they don't come as often, you know, but when you get one right, they're amazing. I'm not really driven by, when I was younger I was driven by that. When I was younger I was driven by wanting to really achieve and really go everywhere and really, but I think as I've got older I just want to, you know, just do the best I can be the best artist I can, and just I'll be the best artist I can be, and it'll just whatever will evolve naturally will evolve. And I think if I just work on getting my part of it right, then things will evolve, and wherever that leads me, that leads me now, and I'm cool with that too. As long as, you know, if I can still have this job, like I've had this job for 20 years now, and so if I can keep doing it, and not have to get a real job, you know, and see out my life, that would be amazing. So that sort of motivates me. But I know to do that, I've got to be the best I can be. So that's what I'm always trying to be.
Thank you, Derrin.
No worries, thank you.
Have a nice gig.
No worries, thank you.